I've never trimmed the bottom branches off my tomatoes for airflow. I've never really needed to. Diseases haven't really been my problem, but I had a lot of rain last week or so, and I started getting a lot of dead leaves, spotted leaves on the bottom. So I went through, and any branch that wasn't producing anything and had produced and then, was done, I trimmed it all off. I was hoping it would also help with the mosquitoes, because they were really thick in the garden all of a sudden. In the process of trimming and moving and retying branches, I had a lot of branches that were needing retied. I broke off a few branches, so I ended up with a small basket of green tomatoes. Not quite sure if they will go ahead and ripen up or not. I didn't really expect to have as many tomatoes left on the vine, especially sizable ones in August. But yeah, I've got some pretty decent sizes still, so I'm going to keep feeding them. And yes, I do feed them about once a month. I feed them, but they also have a lot of compost and duck manure for soil. They have probably 2 to 4 inches of actual soil. We do allow garden spiders to live in the garden. They help us tremendously with grasshoppers and insects. So she is eating. She's earning her keep, so she gets to stay there. Got lots of peppers. I had to go through here and I had to trim off the coleus because the coleus had gotten very, very wild, very, very thick. So I trimmed them off. I left some of the least wild things. Oh, here's another little garden spider. It's hard to do this with one hand. I'm not giving up my cup of coffee. Where'd she go? Okay. Anyway. But you can see how tall the pepper plants have gotten. I mean, they are really producing. Those are Anaheims. They're mild. They're not real hot. So I see another cobweb. I actually like the big garden spiders as long as I know. Oh, I got one that split last night. That's okay. I'll pick him and turn him into tomato soup today. As long as I know where the garden spiders are, I'm okay with them. If I don't know where they are, I get creeped out when I run into their web. But we do have 2 fully mature females and bumbles, and this is why I didn't trim all the coleus off. It's because the bumblebees are really, really loving the coleus. So I just trimmed off the most wild ones. Look at that. I mean, these things are loaded up. So I've still got several good pickings just down here alone. And I left most of all the growth up top because I did want them to keep, if they're going to keep blooming and keep growing, I did want that. I did want more tomatoes, obviously. I'm not going to turn down fresh tomatoes in September. But I did know if they didn't have at least some development, the odds are they would not completely mature by our first killing frost. So I wanted to, when I got home, I wanted to start pulling out stuff and getting my fall garden going. getting them seeded, but I have too much. I still have too much good stuff. I mean, this is Barry's crazy cherries, and I aggressively had to trim it so that I could get it tied up, and she still has more than we can eat, and more blooms. And this is the Napa Chardonnay again, more blooms. I do need to go through and thin out the ones that have over ripened. I didn't do too much of that yesterday, so there are some really ripe ones. I'm not giving up my cup of coffee. A lot of bumblebees. It's very healthy. Make sure there's no spider webs. Oh, there's a baby garden spider right there. We're gonna try not to mess up her web. Oh, what a treat. We have lots of butterflies in the garden. We don't mind. I know this is gonna be weird, but I had a little cobweb. I did not want her in my hair. Okra is officially taller than I am. It's probably 6 feet plus, so that's amazing. Oh, I wanted to show you my snake beans. I am going to sit my coffee done. Just a second. Snake beans. I haven't found, I mean, besides just eating them raw, like a cucumber, I haven't really cooked them or done anything with them. But look how fun these things are. They have a very nice, sweet smell to them. The texture is really pleasant too. There's not a lot of texture. So that's, you know, if people have like texture issues, these are very, and then these are also snake beans. They're just, instead of long and skinny for some reason, they're short and fat. A snake bean is technically, it is a gourd, but it tastes and can be eaten like a green bean. Look at this sister here. This is just because we went on vacation. Look at that. This is a vacation snake bean. I mean, and it just keeps going. I mean, she's huge. Carrie says she smells like, Fruit Loops because of their sweetness. When you touch or aggravate the plant, it smells like Fruit Loops, she says. It does have a bit of sweetness to it, so she's not lying. And that is an okra blossom. I love okras. I like the flowers. I like how attractive the bees are to them. But I'm going to be pickling okras. I didn't know that I liked pickled okra. My son kept telling me he loved pickled okra. He wished somebody would make a pickled okra. But I was like, I don't even know if I like pickled okra. Oh, there's another long one. Snake bean. But when we were on vacation, we were in this restaurant, Hoogan's Smokehouse, and I had the fried ribs, which was delicious, and they had a side of pickled okra came with it, and I'm like, well, this is weird. It was not weird. It was delicious. It was actually the perfect complement of the fried ribs, so I was excited. Oh, you guys, there's another snake bean. I need to get these harvested, but we're really not hungry right now, so I usually only come out to the garden and start picking things when I have to, because I need to, because things are getting out of hand, or I'm hungry for something, so I come out and pick what I want to eat. My cucumbers are still producing, not as much as the watermelon, the lemon drop watermelon, or small watermelons. They're still producing a lot. And but the cucumbers are still producing, just not as heavily. I was looking because I was going to clear out the cucumbers, but they still had blooms and pinky sized cucumbers on there, so I'm like, nope, I can still leave them. I did remove one bed. It was that bed of volunteer stuff, which was the little white pumpkins. They were fun while they lasted, but they had they had got aphids on them, so I went ahead and got those removed and got them took care of. My watermelons still have 3 watermelons growing, one here and then one here. Oh, got a 4th one, a baby right there, and I found another one hiding inside there. So yeah. We're still growing 4 watermelon. Of course, the jungle is beautiful. We do have a house plant and cruises. Oh, look how pretty that is. I won't go in there because A, mosquitoes, and B, I'll just get myself tangled up because I don't have any free hands. The mint bed, it actually was quite surprisingly a success. Everything in here was planted from seed. Now this is just like the blue butterfly sweet peas. We did plant them from seed too. But we still got quite a few things going on. That's a dahlia. And we got our basils. And then we got some volunteer tomatoes, which I need to go ahead and pull them out. Oh, got a nice size one there. Green beans. We got our first little green bean pod on there. So I left this trash crop so the other insects could numb on it and leave the rest of my stuff alone, which seems to be working out. I planted random green beans in random places because I didn't really have a set spot. Look at that pretty little volunteer. What do we got over here? Oh, a morning glory. Aren't you pretty? Now I did plant the morning glories. I planted a line of sunflowers and morning glories and dahlias, but the fight I had with an armadillo, he pretty much ruined that dream. After a couple of times of continuing to replant them, I just gave up. But I was pretty pleased with this volunteer tomato plant. It's actually giving some really nice cherry tomatoes. So yeah, and she's pretty full of them too. So this is a really good volunteer plant. Sometimes, they come up and they're just not the best of them, but this one here, it actually produced crazy strawberries. I do need to drag this out because I want the strawberries to live. The birds do actually use the bird bath. They will come in here and take a bath. They know it's here, and they will use the bird bath. Here's another green bean plant. The butterfly bush, it's starting to get its blooms, and it will be completely covered in it was a hummingbird vine. It will be completely covered in blooms soon. It's a little late bloomer, which is what I like about it. So when everything else stops, we have it. Now, I don't know what I got here. Oh, yep, I got one ready. Maybe. This vine, I only planted one I think it was 1 or 2 seeds. It wasn't very many. And it was doing really good, but I believe we've got some squash borers or something going on with it, because now the fruits are starting to rot on the vine. There's a lot of yellowing going on. So it's probably going to have to be pulled. And it's not too late. I can pop in another squash seed if I want to. I don't know if I want to or not, but I might. I have grown a lot of squash the last few months, but I'll be honest with you, I think I've only ate squash one time. I've just been growing it and giving it away. I don't mind. Oh, and then if they get out of hand, I just cut them open and feed them to the chickens. They also don't mind. The chicken prison is working out. I did end up having to double line the chicken prison on this side. For some reason, they were super determined to get out on this side, probably because they could see the garden and Mulch Island. So I got some plastic chicken netting from Orslins and lined it. The young ones, the small ones, they're especially creative or crafty. They like to get out. This morning when I was letting all the ducks and geese out, because they do get to come out, that crew here was too busy playing in the pool, so they didn't get out with their buddies. This group is out and already had their morning bath, and this group is wishing they'd made better choices. Alright, well, that is August's garden. As you can see, I do have to do some weeding. I lost the battle on this side. I'd hoped to plant stuff, sunflowers and a few other things down the side, and I did, and I had it all mulched. But because the armadillos can't climb, they were getting up underneath the fence and coming in, so they don't climb, so they wasn't getting in my actual garden beds. But anything that I had planted in the ground or mulched, it just went through and basically backhoed everything, because I don't know what kind of butterflies these are. I know they're just absolutely beautiful. Cruz and I did have several black-tailed, I think it was called black swallowtail caterpillars that went through our dill and parsley, I think. So we had to move the caterpillars to our carrots because we really didn't want them to eat all of those. So we gave them to the carrots, which is in this bed with the watermelon, and I guess it must have worked. I'm gonna look up that butterfly and see what type of butterfly it is, because they're enjoying the zinnia patch. I have seen hummingbirds. They don't seem to really take too much interest in the zinnias. They really do enjoy the snake beans and the cucumbers. So they like those flowers. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for the August 13th tour. I will do another tour, probably either, I don't know, maybe in a week, could be in a month. I wanted to do weekly tours for myself. I put them on YouTube. YouTube keeps them, keeps my phone down, memory down, but I am, busy, so I forget to do them. I'm out here every day, but I forget to pull my phone out and talk my way through the garden. Yeah, look. I mean, my August garden is looking beautiful. She's still thriving. I mean, I know it looks like a grapevine to me when you take the leaves off the bottom. I don't normally do it, but we had enough rain and it was enough humidity. It was like 78% humidity and rain. I was definitely worried about getting disease, and I don't want diseases here this year, because that just means that it's possible that the disease will be in the soil next year, and I'm not trying to get any extra problems out of laziness. But this is what so these dead branches is what I went through and trimmed off. If the branch was done producing, I trimmed those off. I still had some work to do on this side, but I ran out of steam. I got the majority, and I planned on coming back through today and finish cleaning it up. That's today, if I can get to it. I'm feeling like it might be a lazy day today. Okay. Well, happy August, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time.